Biden proposes airports around the United States to house migrants. This is crazy. Here's a clip.
The White House has some suggestions for where New York City can house some of the 60,000 asylum seekers that recently arrived. New Jersey. The Atlantic City International Airport is reportedly one of 11 sites that the Biden administration has suggested
Tom Hanks movie.
Be used as a potential shelter for illegal migrants. The airport is in New Jersey, and Congressman Jeff Van Drew, it's in his district, and he joins us now. Congressman, so my understanding, first of all, welcome, and my understanding is that this airport is in a very rural farm town. What do you make of that? What are you hearing from the constituents that live there about their ability to, provide resources for this kind of an influx?
They can't provide the resources.
Yeah.
This is a town of 50,000 people. Atlanta County can't do it.
Yeah, and they want them to pay for it, I bet. The feds probably aren't helping.
Hopefully it won't happen. We're going to fight this with every ounce of strength that we have. It is the wrong thing. When we said what was happening at the southern border was going to affect the entire United States of America, this is what happens. It's not just, I want people that are listening out there, this is not just an Arizona problem or a Texas problem or a California problem. This is a United States of America problem. And now they want to come into our beautiful county, our beautiful South Jersey, and try to ruin that as well. There's also a national defense issue here. This is a very, very important issue to understand. We have the FAA Technical Center there, who's doing very important work, some of it which is very significant for the safety of this country in air flight. And we have our F-16s that are there as part of our defense as well, as part of the Air National Guard, the 177 Fighter Wing. They are the first line of defense for Washington, D.C. and New York City. This is a disaster in the making. This is the worst administration.
That's
I used to say in my lifetime, no, this is the worst administration in the history of the United States.
I think there's a couple of worse ones. Woodrow Wilson comes to mind, but yeah, he's really bad.
Mayor of New York, the governor of New York, their solution is give us more money, and we'll find more places to put these people, and they're working with the administration to do that. It just doesn't make sense. If you have this many people that you can't house, that you don't have enough money to do it, and that you're willing to even put it in places that you say could, compromise our national security, the answer is to go to the border and seal it and shut it down.
Pretty obvious.
It's so obvious. Literally, an elementary school child could understand.
So why are they doing it? Why are they leaving the border open? I mean, you were a Democrat. Explain to those of us with common sense, why are they allowing this to happen?
It's purposeful, it's destructive, and it's corrupt.
They think they're going to get votes from it.
The social structure
I think it's backfiring.
Of the United States of America. It's literally self-destructive. I've never seen anything like it. That's why we need an impeachment inquiry. It's just another reason. You don't want to do the impeachment yet. At least do the impeachment inquiry, because in my committee, we would allow us to go forward and to have more powers for subpoena, to allow us to have more powers to investigate. We need to know every single thing that's going on. This is not a mistake. It's not an accident. It is purposeful, and it's harmful, and it's the wrong thing to do, and he's not fulfilling his obligation.
I think
as the president of the United States. And you know what? We don't want to be a sanctuary airport. If they want to be a sanctuary city,
I think they think that the leftists are going to vote for him, because everyone's like with the Trump thing when he was like, they're not sending us their best people. Ever since then, that comment, the media just ran with it. And I think now, like, people, they think everyone on the left is like, oh, no, yeah, like, no, don't build the wall. That's a Trump thing. But then when you actually see it in your cities, it's terrible. So I think it's backfiring. But I think that's what they thought. They're like, oh, we're going to have an open border. And a lot of people say they're going to give them citizenship eventually, the migrants, to get votes. If they think that, they're dumb also, because a lot of these migrants might just vote Republican, And so, I mean, either way, it's bad. But I think it's more of a thing really quickly. No, people on the left, they like asylum seekers, as they call them. They want asylum, so we need to help them out. But then you go and see, like, in reality, like I've said in other videos just today, even, like, the black community in New York and Chicago in particular, I saw this guy in Chicago a few months back at a city council meeting. He had a build the wall sign, and I don't know if he's a Trump supporter, but it was a black community and stuff. And now they're turning on them. So I think what they thought was, okay, we're going to bring all these people in and it's going to make the left like us more. But now it's just backfiring and everyone's turning on them. Like this guy used to be a Democrat. I think he changed before Biden even got into office. But you could tell even before Biden got into office, people on the left were like, okay, I'm changing. Sinema in Arizona, the senator there, Kirsten Sinema, she went independent. She still caucuses with the left, but she's like, I can't win as a Democrat anymore because this is their policy, especially in Arizona, right by the border. All this stuff there that they have to deal with there, and then what we have to deal with in Texas. It's like it's insane. So I think they're like, okay, we're gonna do this. It is purposeful, 100%, but I think they thought that leftists would like it, and leftists did actually for like 2 or 3 years. Most people are like, oh no, it's fine. But then when it's literally on their doorstep, they're like, no, we can't have this. All of the city's money is going to fund migrants, and they can't even fund them, like any fixing roads. They can't fix any of the infrastructure, period, in the city. So it's just going downhill. And what's it all going to? Migrants. So it's like, okay, I changed my mind, and the migrants, it's not like it's better off for them. The kids get sold into indentured servitude. And then they're sleeping on the streets. They're all sleeping on sidewalks. They have to go trudge through the hottest year on record. That's what they're doing, hundreds of miles, right? And they're bringing these kids in that probably aren't even their kids. So it's like it's not even working out for the migrants either. So what I always say, they should stay in their own country and go and fix that. I mean, if your country's so bad that you need to leave, I get it. If maybe there is maybe if there's a dictator like going crazy. But I don't, first of all, from what I understand, that's not really the case. The gangs like prop up the dictator so they get reelected. You got to solve that. You got to go into your own country and solve that. I think it's fascinating that almost all of the migrants that are coming in are Venezuelans. So basically, no offense to them, but they voted for this president that turned everything socialist. They voted for all of this, and now they want to come and run away to here, a place that's not socialist. Like, why don't you stay in your own country and change it back from socialism back to a more capitalistic model where you're running to anyways, which is a capitalist society? Stay there, and I bet you they weren't sleeping on the streets. I bet you it wasn't great. From what I understand about Venezuela, especially a few years ago, it was awful. I think it's kind of tapered down. I don't really hear about it anymore, so I'm guessing it tapered down. But I get it. It sucks there. It's not fun, but if America turns to trash, I'm not one of those people who are like, I'm going to go move to another place. America, no matter what happens, is the best place in the world. So I get it. They want to go there. But their country for them was probably awesome too. And then you just see how these leftist policies change everything. You get Biden in here. Now the economy's trash. It was amazing a few years ago. People vote for this stuff, and then they want to go and run away after it gets bad. No, stick with it. Stay there. It's awful, but you voted for it, and you got them in there in the first place. You could probably get them out. And stay with your home country. You gotta have some patriotism, right? Stick with it and solve it. And those policies, if you come here and are going to be voting for the same thing, it's just going to turn into Venezuela. It's really interesting.
In New York City, that's up to them. It's hurting the city tremendously, too.
At $10 billion a year.
I appreciate your candor on all of these questions. Thank you. It's really important. God bless.
Yeah, definitely important. Yeah, it's crazy. Now they're trying to send them to airports. I think I saw like 15 airports or something. They want to go put these migrants in. So now they went from their country to go either live on the street, can't get jobs, don't know English. They don't even. I saw a story. I covered it before yesterday or today. Can't remember the exact one, but they mentioned this in. But 75% of people that go, the asylum seekers, they take 3 years to get a hearing, and then 75% of the people when they get the hearing, they're denied asylumship. So they're just sitting here for 3 years, costing Texas money, Arizona money, California, all of this. New York, $10 billion a year for 50,000 migrants, $100,000 per family. That's insane. A normal family in America, what pays half that? So they're just paying double what a normal family would be, and then the migrants can't even work, so the Americans are paying for it. And I just don't see how it's helping anybody when the left is like, well, we need to help these people. How is this helping them? It's going to be 50,000 people in New York alone. In Chicago, there's like the same amount. There's so many people in these cities. It's record heat, crazy hot, and then they have to trek through all this, and they're encouraging them to do this. And then once they get here, now they're going to, winter's a few months away. So now they're going to be living, and it's terrifying because these people from these warmer regions, they're not used to the cold. They're not adjusted to it. They haven't been. Their genes haven't been. Their ancestors haven't been acclimated to this. So now they're going to be sitting here in the frigid cold of Chicago in winter, and no one can pay for it because these leftists thought it was a good talking point to get reelected, to be like, oh, no, come here. We need to help these asylum seekers. Asylum, maybe you could say like Afghanistan, like Ukraine, could have asylum. But most of these countries, they're just not as good as the U.S., to be frank. But there's nothing really happening there. They're just not as good as the U.S. So, yeah. But then they go and be like, okay, we're going to go there for a better life, and you have a terrible life. It's way worse. You have to go trek through all this heat. You have to do all this crazy stuff to get here, and then you don't even get citizenship in 3 years. You don't even get the asylum claim, and you have to go back to your home country anyways. And what did you spend that 3 years doing? You couldn't even legally get a job, so you probably didn't really make that much money. Maybe you made a bit, but they pay the illegal migrants like $2 to $3 an hour, right? They probably are making the same in their home countries, maybe a little bit less, but at least you have a shelter. You're not just going day to day wondering if you're going to get kicked out or whatever, and you're not sleeping outside. And a lot of these people just sleep on the sidewalks, sleeping on concrete on the sidewalks. I'm guessing it's better off in their country. People give you food, but what happens when all the money runs out? Then they're not going to get food either, and they're probably just going to want to go back to their home country anyways. It's all just a waste of time because of some rhetoric of the left that's saying, oh, no, come here. We will help you. We'll help you. We'll help you. We can't afford it. We can't even come close to affording it. Even AOC is turning on Biden. Now, she's saying that there's a border crisis. So it's gotten so bad at her district, she even has to say it. And they took a really nice hotel. I don't remember the name of it, but I covered it like a couple months ago. They took the whole hotel and are paying to double the price, I believe, of the normal price that they would normally pay. And it's just filled with migrants, and it's horrific. The people that work there, they still kept the same staff. They would find kids in their rooms, like 8 to 10-year-old kids, and they're doing like drugs and drinking alcohol, and they're sitting there by themselves with the door open, but they legally couldn't do anything about it. So they had to quit, and it was dangerous. They were saying that someone would do like a violent crime, like assault their wife or something, and then they would just go and they'd get kicked out, and then they would just find them another hotel to go live in. This is all just a disaster. You could just been like, defend the border. You can't come in. You can only come in legally. Then there wouldn't be all this disaster. They would be better off because they wouldn't be sleeping on the street. They're not going to be sleeping in the street in a few months of winter like now that they're here. What did they even gain from coming here? Just hardship and just nonsense, and they can't get jobs, and I think they're worse off. Everyone's worse off. And then just to try to keep them alive, they can't work on their own where they could have afforded their own food in their own country, just working a normal job. Now they came here. They can't even afford food. They can't get jobs. They have to sleep on the street, and then Americans have to pay for all of it. Double the price of a normal family, $100,000 a year in New York versus what, 50, 60,000 average income for a United States family, right? So, yeah, it's insane. It's insane. It's all broken. And now, again, airports. Yeah, go live in airports now when airports are already super crowded. And whether you think they're realistically going to be able to find space for them in airports, give me a break. It just keeps getting worse. But, like I said before, I think this is backfiring on the left. I think it's just going to make more people go to the right because they see these failed policies. So, yeah, hopefully that's a good thing that comes out of it. Like, people will learn from it. Like, okay, we did try this. We tried, like, not quite socialism, but far leftism, and it doesn't work. It just makes everything worse for everyone involved. Let's hope so. But the left right now, they're just kind of the hardcore, staunch leftists. They don't want that. Some people on the left just won't budge. Yeah, people in the certain communities that are probably mainly in the center, but they just think they because of their community have to vote on the left. Those people change, but the Krasinsteins and stuff, the Twitter people, like all the like the journalists that are on the left that are getting paid $100,000 to $200,000 a year. I heard this one guy is getting my hair cut at a local place here in Austin. And this guy, he was from the Bay Area, and he's telling the person cutting his hair, he's like, oh, yeah, I've lived in San Francisco my whole life. Maybe he's like 30-ish. And he's like, yeah, it's really changed since when I was a kid. And then she's like, oh, what do you mean? He's just like, everyone is just so elitist now. So like that. I'm like, all of the problems with San Francisco, and that's what his problem is with it. Everyone's elitist, and there's a bunch of rich people there now. That's the only thing keeping the city somewhat okay, right? But that's what he thinks is the problem. That guy probably isn't going to go anywhere, probably no matter what. It's crazy. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe for daily news updates, smash that like button, share this video with your friends, and share your thoughts on the story in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.